Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the series with no name. So it might be Blindman chats, it might be Blindman talks, I don't know. I haven't decided on anything yet. This time I'm going to have a look at the questions that were on all the Phantom assignments. So I've done about 8 Phantom videos I think. In the background you can see me using the Phantom bow on a couple of rounds of team deathmatch with bow only. Don't exactly do very well. I get 5 and 3 on this round of Hangar 21, and next should be Whiteout, which I think I go 6 and 5. So not exactly great, but it's far easier on a bow server than it is trying to do this against somebody who's using an assault rifle. So I'm not going to answer specific questions on the Phantom because there's often a lot of questions covering the same topics. So I'm just going to go through the very basic questions, give you the answers. I've answered most of them in the comments already, but I'll just chat through them. So, the first confusion is what are the tags for? So the dog tags that you find in the little boxes. These are for activating the elevator. So you need at least one of these tags and have it equipped for you to be able to activate the elevator. You need all 4 tags in the elevator for the button to actually appear and be usable. The Phantom camos and the Phantom dog tag, you need those equipped to survive the journey down in the elevator. So that's one of the final stand dog tags, the Phantom dog tag on the other side, the Phantom weapon camo and the Phantom soldier camo. You've got all those on, and you've got 3 other people in there at least who've got the other dog tags between them. It's going to work. Now there is an exploit where you don't need the final stand dog tag, but it's an exploit. I don't do exploits. If you want to know how to cheat at the game, go somewhere else. I only tell you how you're supposed to do it. I don't do cheats. I thought about making a video, in fact I recorded a video on how you do it, but it's pointless because it just takes away from the spirit of the game. Now I know that's a bit weird, and another question I've been getting is, why is the bow so hard to get? Why should I do all this work? I've paid for my premium account, blah blah blah. Well, tough. You paid for a game. It's a game. It doesn't just give you everything. Saying why is the bow so hard to get, I've paid for premium, is like going, why don't I instantly start at rank 130 with all the weapons unlocked? I paid for premium. You paid for a game. You didn't pay for everything involved in the game. Paying for premium doesn't make the game easier. It just gives you access to things earlier, and it's slightly cheaper than buying all the parts separately. But you get the same game as everybody else. And you've got to do the same challenges and the same assignments as everybody else. If you don't like assignments and challenges, don't do them. I have never done one of the missions in this game, and I don't do the pointless dog tag unlocks. So, you know, most of the time I only do assignments if the reward's any good. A poxy little dog tag that says, I'm a master of this weapon, not interested. Something that goes out and gets me a new gun, or a bow in this case, yeah, I'll do that, I'll give it a go. So, premium isn't a license to make the game easier. I was asked a couple of times, what kind of servers can you do this on? As far as I'm aware, assignments can only be done on official or ranked servers. Now, all my videos are filmed on official or ranked servers. They're the only 2 options I have checked in Battlelog. So if you do play on unranked servers, well, you can't get this final stand dog tags off the unranked servers. Has to be a ranked server. Now there is a bit of an issue at the moment. We've got the protection software called Fair Fight, which stops people from flag running. If you don't know what flag running is, it's basically going out onto servers with only like 4 people on and just running around capturing flags. No shooting, no nothing. Unfortunately, people who have been looking for these dog tags, including myself, are getting Fair Fight bans because it says you're just running around capturing flags. No, I'm running around looking for a box which happens to be by a flag. So just be careful of fair fight when you're doing this. It doesn't affect when I'm doing the filming, so when I was filming the videos of where the locations were, I was doing those on empty servers with the UI turned off, so there was nobody else on the servers. You can't capture flags when the round hasn't actually started, so I could do that freely. But when I was actually looking for my dog tags and originally trying to find all these spawn locations, that's when fair fight was having a bit of a tizzy about flag running. So the ban was lifted straight away, so I think they've altered fair fight to sort it out, but just be careful of fair fight. Sometimes it won't let you back onto a server if you've been looking for dog tags and not killing anybody. But if you're watching any of my videos, they'll be official and ranked servers only. Been getting a lot of questions about old gen consoles. Now, I know the number of flags is different on old gen consoles, but I've had different reports as to whether the maps are bigger or not. So some people are saying they're the same size, some people are saying that they're smaller, the boundaries, and that some of the points are outside the boundaries. Now, I can't confirm this. I've never owned a console. I haven't got an Xbox, haven't got PS3, haven't got an Xbox One, haven't got a PS4, and I have no desire to own one. I was actually offered an Xbox One last year, pretty cheap, but it would just sit under my TV unused, or being used as a media centre, and I've already got a little PC that acts as a media centre. So an Xbox One, it would have been nice, but I'd have just never used it. So I can't really answer your console questions. Now it seems like other people have been answering the console questions for me on the comments, so thanks for that. But the only thing I can say is, if you're having problem on the old gen consoles and it's down to maps, then I would go onto the Battlelog forums for the older gen consoles, because there are people who know far more about it than me on there. Or you can ask your question and just see if anybody else knows the answer, but unfortunately I won't be answering your question. There were numerous questions about when the dog tags spawn, where they spawn, is it random, is it timed? Now, I know that dog tags respawn when one is collected, and it seems to be slightly random on the time. It definitely doesn't spawn within 5 minutes, but on some maps I looked at places between 5 or 6 minutes after the dog tag has been collected, and then a couple of minutes after that somebody has found one in the place that I just looked. So it isn't a guaranteed 5 minutes, I think it's something like 7 minutes. So it's probably similar to the spawn times for the pickup weapons and things like that. It's a bit odd, but I'm not sure. I know they do respawn and it takes longer than 5 minutes, that's all I know for sure. I believe there's a box in place as soon as the round starts, so you don't have to wait a few minutes after the round starts for it to spawn. It should already be spawned. What else? How many boxes? There's only one box. So only one box on the map at any one time. Now the guides don't show you every place, so you can run around, go to every point on the guides and not find the box, because there's still places to be found, and those video guides aren't going to get updated. They're going to be there, so they're showing you quite a lot of locations, but they're not showing you everything. Another question on this topic was empty servers. No, the boxes do not spawn on empty servers, and they don't spawn on servers where there isn't the minimum number of players for the round to start. It has to be an active running game for it to spawn on the map. And I was asked, do you get the 5th dog tag if you collect all 4? No, as you can see here, the dog tag is the reward for the Phantom assignment. So if you complete the Phantom Operative, you get that 5th dog tag. There is a dog tag with a bow on it, but that is the bow mastery dog tag. So yeah, the futuristic dog tag with the globe on it, that is for completing the Phantom Operative. Right, so those are all the questions about the Phantom Operative assignment and the bow. Now, I'm going to talk a bit about the future of Battlefield 4, because Final Stand, as it turns out, isn't the final stand for Battlefield 4. There's a lot of rumours, and these are coming from DICE and EA employees, that there's going to be more DLC for Battlefield 4. Tigger, who's one of the developers at DICE Los Angeles, has said we need to wait until the end of this current Battlefest and then there'll be an announcement. And a gentleman whose name I've forgotten, to do with the competitive side of the game, has said there's another game mode coming out. Put those two together and it definitely looks like another DLC. Now, we know what the game mode is. It's actually another version of Conquest. It's Conquest Double Assault. So what it is Conquest with no bases. So you don't have a team spawn location. You start on the map, you fight for the bases, but if you get all the flags captured by the enemy, you can't respawn. So it's essentially Conquest, where you can win and end the round by freezing your opposing team out. And it looks like DICE are trialling this to be a larger scale competitive mode, because it's a mode where there's a definite win condition that isn't just capturing flags. The win condition is your enemy team can't spawn, and it's a bit more exciting than just Conquest, where you go, oh, they've captured 4 of the 5 flags and now we've just got to watch the tickets bleed, because they can go out, capture that 5th flag and just end the round pretty much. And it means surviving players have got to think tactically. So if you've had all your flags captured but you're still alive, your priority is then to get a flag so that your team can spawn. You can't just go out for kills in this mode, you have to think about the flags and play tactically. So we know that's coming, and we're pretty sure that Tigger's basically saying there's going to be a DLC announced at the end of this Battlefest, which I think is next week it finishes, so we should know soon. Whether or not it's going to be free, whether or not it's going to be free to premium members, or whether or not everybody's going to have to pay for it, we don't know. Now, the contract for premium is already completed. They've given us everything they said they were going to give us. I'd like to see it coming for free. So it's essentially going to be a test. We know now that whatever is happening on Battlefield 4 is testing for Hardline and Battlefield 5. There have been a lot of dramatic changes in CTE, and even in the update that Final Stand brought us. Final Stand changed the way that med bags work. Now that's been pretty quiet because of the furore around the bow and the Phantom Operative assignment, but the med bag changes is pretty significant in the way the game plays, especially competitively. So CTE is making major changes to the way the game works. This whole new animations for shooting. On CTE, when you aim, you actually stand up taller and you bring the gun up so that the opposing players can see your head, your shoulders, laser sights, torches, all that stuff shines over the top of cover now. You're easier to spot and you're easier to hit. That's quite a major change to the way the game plays and looks. And it's clearly not in their interest to be spending all this development time on Battlefield 4, which is, you know, a washed up game as far as EA concerned. They've already bought out Battlefield Premium, which has everything bundled together for a discount price. They're making some money from the end of Battlefield 4's life, but the reason Battlefield 4 is being extended in its lifespan is testing for Hardline, Battlefield 5 and Frontline. Now they can just about squeeze this DLC in before Hardline is released, and it'll be interesting to see whether they switch development over to Hardline CTE rather than Battlefield 4 CTE, or whether or not they keep Battlefield 4 as their test environment for the engine. The engine's the same, Frostbite isn't changing for Hardline, and I don't think it's changing for Battlefront either. So essentially they can do all their testing on Battlefield 4, but apply it to all the new games. The big question, of course, if a new DLC pack is released, is will there be maps in it? Now, we've got hints of a new game mode, we've got hints of a continuation of the Phantom program. We didn't get any weapons in Final Stand, so maybe we'll get weapons in the new one. Maps, however, are a lot more work. Maybe we'll just get a game mode, a few new guns and some new assignments, but we are owed a few maps. We're particularly owed the Battlefield 3 maps we voted for to be converted to Battlefield 4 that didn't make it. So think of Strike at Karkand. I think that came second in the vote for maps to be converted over, but didn't make it when they did the conversions. Not sure why, but they picked their own maps and didn't pick Strike at Karkand. And that's a map that's been in Battlefield for quite a while. So that would be nice to see back. I'm not sure if conversions are actually any easier than creating brand new maps, because when they did the Battlefield maps they said they had to do them from scratch. They just had the layouts and the designs, but they still had to build the things from scratch. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know about maps. At the moment I'm 50-50 as to whether I think they're going to be there or not. I know the amount of work they'd take to actually put in, but I'd still like to see something. Maybe not something new, maybe old maps reimagined. We should hopefully get some more information next week, but at the moment it could be anything from a full-blown DLC with maps, weapons and assignments to a new game mode and a few little bits being released in dribs and drabs. We'll have to wait and see. In the questions for the last video I was asked would I be doing 60 frames per second videos, and I've taken the plunge. I bought a copy of Sony Vegas, so that's the big fancy editing software. It cost me 200 quid, but I bought a copy. I've also got DxTory, but at the moment DxTory will record in 60 frames per second, but Sony Vegas won't edit the videos for it. So I've tried recording in Fraps at 60 frames per second. That will load the videos into Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas will edit them, but when I try rendering them for YouTube, Vegas crashes. So at the moment it's been a pain in the arse. I wouldn't expect 60 frames per second videos, maybe a few tests, but nothing before Christmas certainly. I've got to work out whole new editing software and all new recording software and try and get them working together and work out what the best settings are. I've checked out a few people's videos on YouTube to see how they do it. Doesn't seem to work for me. So at the moment 60 frames per second would be nice. It wouldn't be on videos like this anyway, because it just makes the videos massive, and this is more about the conversation. Video is just in the background. So a lot of stuff would still be 30 frames per second just because it's easy to record, takes up less space, it's easier to render and easier to upload. But I think some things would be nice in 60 frames per second. So if it's just a pure gameplay video where I'm doing live commentary over the top, that would be easy to do in 60 frames per second because it's just a matter of recording it, putting some titles on it and sticking it out. At the moment I don't know Sony Vegas well enough to use it for anything more complicated than that. I can't do this video in Sony Vegas because I can't work out how to do the dubbing of the audio over the top. So this is being made in Corel Video Studio, and I just click a button and it lets me record this audio track into a new track over the top of the existing video. I can't get Sony Vegas to do that. I'm sure it does do it, but I can't get it to do it without it also playing the audio through the speakers and getting horrible feedback. Anyway, that's something for a future date. So the round has ended and this video is almost at an end. My performance with a bow is pretty poor. You know, I'm not great at Battlefield anyway, but the bow is just a nightmare to use, but it does feel really good when you get a long range kill with it. So there I went 6 and 5, not bad, and I'm getting some progress done on the Phantom. That's it, thanks for watching.